What up, though? Welcome to your live exclusive pick a card reading. This is the Peace Dealer, of course. And yeah, welcome to the best part of our monthly contribution. I personally enjoy these pick a card readings. The best out of kind of all of this. Shout out to Devin. You missed it. I played work the other day. I don't know if you heard it, but I could play it again at the end if you want. Good news. Most of the death tape is pretty much done. I just need one more song mixed and mastered. So might do a listening party. We shall see. You did miss it. I'll run it. I'll run it back at the end of this, and I won't forget this time. Let me actually just put it there.
I got that.
Boom. It's just thumb note there. Hey, Elko, welcome to the gang. Welcome to God Squad. I am going to end our membership series next month. And membership on the app will be available. So for those of you ready to transition, we'll have the link to that ready shortly. supernatural.passion.io. You get a 30-day trial. That being said, we're going to do 3 reading spreads. Thank you for gifting those memberships. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. All right. We're going to do 3 reading spreads. The first one will be what's up with the magic of Gemini season. This full moon looks like it's going to be wild, wildly insane, wildly crazy, wildly enlightening. And yeah, the second one will look into life purpose, career, finances. And then, yeah, the third one, we'll wing it. We'll wing it. We'll see what we get the first 2 in case they're answered. All right. So we're going to do a 3x3 matrix. Basically 3 cards of 3 piles. This is just for anyone new watching, basic cartomancy. These interpretations are not meant to be fatalistic. So I'm not like forcing you to accept what your future is. I want you to instead look at this like you came into an RPG mechanic. You're in a role-playing game. You pressed A, and I am giving you 3 options. Okay, we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. You're going to pick one of these piles, and you're going to press A. And you're going to see 3 symbols. These symbols will be representations that you can choose to accept. So if you don't like the interpretation, you don't have to pick it. And we put another clause in here, right? To where if you like any other pile, you can choose that pile. Okay. I think, there's a perspective on tarot readings that are too much, put more of an emphasis of fortune telling and trying to predict your future, where the takes on more of a magical interpretation and experience. You can make this your own. I'm not telling you to shut off your critical mind, but if you're overthinking this and trying to apply objective logic, this is more a subjective exploration that you can make objectively. I think a lot of people overthink this and you start to treat it like there's some objective formula behind this. This is just more imaginative creativity. Make this your own. Okay. You can even combine the cards that I pull in the pile. I want you to leave this experience taking something with it. I am your dealer. All right. I'm going to pitch this magic crack for the free ski. You pick whichever card you want, and I'm going to work my magic and bridge these realms subjectively to the objective. All right. People try to make it fit this limited box of their understanding. And that's why it doesn't make sense, because you're measuring it by objective standards that only work in a certain world. We're tapping into a world through your imagination. So make it what you want. Make it what the fuck you want. Let's have fun with this. All right. I want to kind of approach it that way. We're not using these cards for you to make medical decisions or legal decisions. You would want to consult a professional for that. But some of you are not normie ass muggles. So you already know what you're here for. You feel me? Yes, I said that. You already know what you're here for. So we're going to break down this Gemini season. Obviously, the pile you picked is because you're psychic as fuck. And you know I'm going to do what I do. We're going to break this down for you. So the first card is going to be the lesson of Gemini season. The second card is going to be, well, no. The first card is going to be what magical ability, aka your new programming, magical ability for this, for the definition we're going to move forward for magical ability in this context of word, mind, Gemini, air magic in this Gemini season is your new mindset. This new moon a week and a half ago activated like a firmware update every year, new ideas. All right. For the purpose and context of this, we have 3 piles, 1, 2, 3. This new idea is your new magic. Okay. It's not some rabbit you pulled out of a hat. It's not some supernatural activity you make happen, although you'll be able to do this. It is something you do every single day of your life. Something so mundane, we wouldn't think to call it magic. And yet your thoughts are things, and your thoughts create reality. So just the auto nervous activity of thinking is magic. I am presupposing that this past week, whether you're aware of it or not, but you were aware of it, you began to think in a new way. You started adopting new thoughts. You started, and of course, with new information that comes every year, this is just a natural process. So everyone has done this, right? What are you conscious that you, now the magician is conscious of this process. They are actively programming in their brain new ideas. Some of you, of course, if not all of you, you are activating with the Pluto trine Aquarius a supernatural quality of this process of thinking. Your telepathy in a delusional schizophrenic sense or an actual master sense is mastered. Let's just get that out the way. And you manifesting like an MF. So the first card is going to be, what is the theme around this new magical ability? Let's call it a supernatural magical ability. New programming. You're updating your brain GPT. All right. The second card is, what is the breakthrough through this? What is the reflection of what are you going to harvest? What is the harvest and reward you're going to gain through this for the full moon and third quarter square? And then the final card is, what's the outcome? Okay. What's the completion of this? The underlying theme we have is the world, baby. Fulfillment, completion, and success. All right. This theme of graduation has been coming up a lot. Saturn is represented by the world, the material totality, the system, the structure. So this lets us know that not only is this Gemini season going to bring this theme of you coming into, this totality of success, but you're coming into the full integration of everything you have learned and mastered in order for you to operate at the world stage. The especially in a Gemini season of learning, the vision that I have for you is like the past 12 years to 20 years, right? Nobody saw you grinding up the circuit at the city level, at the state level, at the national level, right? So you've built these skills and you've been challenged and gained greater knowledge, wisdom, and experience. And you were able to, you know what I mean, see where you stand within your own city, see where you stand within your own state, see where you stand within the nation. Okay. And now this is like watching your progress or someone's progress. And now you're debuting at the world stage, but you're still learning. So it's like you haven't conquered, or some of you, this is you completing the world stage, because I'm talking to a lot of different people. But that's really the vision I get. It's like you're taking everything that you have learned through your journey and you're getting ready to interact more at this collective global stage. Or it could at least mean you have been gaining this sense of completion. If we got the Magician or the Ace of Wands as the underlying theme, this would be you feeling like it's time to start something new, right? But we're coming into this theme of completion. All right. We're bringing everything to a conclusion. And I think this is going to represent milestone victory for a lot of you. All right. So for pile one, if you pick pile one, and even if you didn't, if it resonates with you, claim it. All right. This is where you don't want to be too objective. It's not like, oh, this pile has to apply, and if the other two don't, it's like an ocean of subjectivity. Whatever you feel like it, claim it. That's it. What is the magical ability or abilities? What is the theme around the magical ability, this new mindset that you've activated? We do have the sun, main character energy, joy. Okay. What you've activated, pile one, is, especially with the world, having you come into total joy. It is a conscientious decision to not just be more positive, but to really accept how everything in your life is literally successful. And you're beaming, of course, the light of this courage and confidence to raise the vibration and to literally bring happiness wherever it is you go. The important thing about the sun card is that you've accepted that happiness. I hate to be cliche here. You accepted that happiness isn't something external to you. It comes from you. But I do also want to say what you've put in motion is breaking you through and breaking you out into actual joy, especially with the sun card, which is the only thing that rivals the world. The world is represented by Saturn. All of these revolve around the sun. If you believe in a heliocentric type system. That being said, this is putting you in a position to not only come into joy, but this is experiencing success in every area of your life. So the thought process, this is a hack. If you pick pile one, the greatest way to reality hack and step into the ideal results, even immediate, is to, and this is going to sound cliche to you, think happy thoughts. Literally, you need to talk to yourself like you're the main fucking character. All right, Tanjiro is very humble. In the show, he didn't necessarily walk around like, the plot revolves around me, but it did. And he didn't have to be cocky because he was purposeful. All right. So this isn't saying to act like a main character. This is saying to speak to yourself like you are radiating everything you have to be grateful for. And to ahead of time, this is something everyone can do, by the way. So it's not just if you pick pile one, but if you pick pile one, this is going to really proceed or yeah, this is going to proceed with a lot of happiness. And with the world card, it's bringing a total completion of this. So I feel like if you pick pile one, I don't want to be cliche and say you went through struggles and hard times and you're coming through here. It's that despite whatever struggles and hard times you went through, it never stopped you from being grateful, from being happy, from enjoying yourself and helping others enjoy yourself. You still brought light to other people. So that it's based off of this sustenance that you're able to really fully break this through. Yeah. So what is the breakthrough of this? What are you going to harvest through this? We do have temperance. Now this is beautiful. You're going to harvest great management through moderation. And with the backing of the sun, it adds so much more boldness and literal light to this. This is Sun, this is Sagittarius. So you're breaking through into a way to mediate opposites. This is exceptionally good if you've been wanting more consistency and balance in your lifestyle. So the Sun in Temperance is saying this is going to be the season where you're going to be able to get new ideas off the ground and stabilize them. This is going to create more room for you to do what you want and be free and be happy. Because with the Temperance card here, it's like now you're whatever you're doing for income or your general lifestyle is more than balanced and allows you to explore more that you couldn't do before while you're holding down what you might have struggled to stay stable. All right. And not only is this going to mark this sense of application of alchemy, I think a lot of you have been going heavy into demonstrating magical techniques, or we could just say techniques, systems, abilities, right? Things you might have created and worked to actually apply and practice. And this good management through, not doing too much, not going cold turkey, but not indulging in addictions and whatnot. You're actively breaking through a lot of how it's sustaining itself. I would say these are certain things that people might. A great example of this is a poker player. A poker player that, if someone to tell you, oh yeah, I play poker for a living, that sounds crazy. And he's not counting cards. He's like really just that good at poker, right? But it's because of the good management. He makes sure he plays a good amount of poker games in the week, but he's so good now he doesn't have to play that much, but he still makes a lot of money each game. It's something that represents techniques and abilities that average person probably couldn't sustain, but he's sustaining it. People ask, like, what do you do for a living? I play poker. I travel to play poker games. You know what I mean? And that's the breakthrough here. You're taking something that brings joy to you and you're able to begin to sustain this. This requires, of course, management. It requires, you to maintain this responsibility of the world to operate at this level, right? But what's the outcome of this? The outcome of this is the Strength card, which is going to burn courageously. So now we have the Sun, which rules Leo and Sag, which I love it. It's literally her energy. But like the Strength card is you're going to have so this is an equation. The Sun, passion versus good management equals infinite energy. The outcome is you're going to have the strength, quality, and availability to do exclusively what you love. If you pick pile one, Gemini season is hooking you up to where through following through on your word, you're going to be able to sustain your passions indefinitely. And the Temperance card is the key to this, where of course, like this is, if you pick pile one, this is amazing if you're a creator. if you're somebody who works an unconventional, but even if you work a 9-to-5 job or something conventional, you have the energy to manage this so that you're not chained to your job and you can do other stuff. But whether this applies to everyone or not, this is 100,000% speaking on you being in a position to, if you're like a recording artist, yeah, maybe you're not topping Billboard charts, or maybe you are. Maybe you're not winning awards, but you're on tour. You make like 5-6 figures off of your music. You make like 5 figures off of your merch alone, and it's something you love to do. You get to travel. You literally get to perform. And this is of course the work that it takes to manage this, but with the temperance card, it's like you can work really hard, but still play really hard too, right? Work hard, play hard. This is really awesome. If you pick pile 1, it's pretty dope. Pretty rad. All right. So pile dose 2. Everything speaks to you. Yep. That's why, when you get to that level, tarot reading interpretations become less fatalistic. You don't rely on the planets or tarot cards to tell you the fate of your life. You realize, anything can speak to you because you're listening beyond just, there's a critical way to look at things and put things in context, and then you can dissolve. And a homeless person on the street could say something that was just for you, even though they weren't talking to you, even though they were probably talking to themselves, saying some crazy shit. That's a extrasensory perspective that requires full-on subjectivity. So you can't think objectively like that because it would not make sense at all. It wouldn't be in context, and it is inherently subjective. But that being said, pile 2, what is the activation of this magical season for you? We have the moon card. So that's crazy. Okay, we already have a contrast. You guys saw me shuffle the sun card and the path of yang we got for pile 1. And then the yin card, the moon, Pisces, we got for pile 2. So unlike pile 1, who's activating this more exerted, expressive joy, pile 2, you're activating psychic abilities and supernatural extrasensory perspective and understanding. In other words, straight on delusion. So like you're confronting all your illusions, and this activation of magic is helping you see through your imagination beyond the physical. It's like if you pick pile 2, you have had multiple dreams just in this week that directly answer things you were inquiring about, that directly give you insight, which are precognitive. Unlike pile 1 that can really work with the sense of objectivity through the light, pile 2, this is going to involve you being delulu. This is definitely going to involve you believing things you can achieve that don't make fucking sense because you are tapping into it. This is evidenced through synchronicities, through complex understandings of experiences that don't make sense to other people, but make sense to you. So pile 2, what activated for you is a deeper layer of your psychic ability unveiling itself. This is a bit difficult for your critical brain to understand because the way your brain processes information is not to account for all this woo-woo psychic bullshit, okay? It's supposed to process, there's 6 blinds here, this is what we're doing. So the state of inducing this extrasensory perception or psychic power will feel delusional. It's supposed to feel delusional. It's the offset of your critical brain not being able to process certain facets that come to you as a feeling or as a sense. So for those of you who've been struggling with that, you're struggling with that because you're trying to scoop up water and you're trying to like put it in a box. That was a dumbass analogy. You're trying to put gas in an ice chamber. Like you're getting the states off, if that makes sense. And if you're doing it right, it's going to feel like schizophrenia. And because the way you were conditioned to suppress these facets and write them off as delusional, you are working against building the pathways to make sense of this. So the first part of this is going to express itself as visual and auditory hallucinations, because you're teaching your brain to accept these facets and take subjective facets of your perception and intersect them with the objective facts of the world. That intersection is what creates magic. Some people just rest and rely on the subjective facet. Like, oh, I had a dream of you. I had this reading. That's delusion, because there's no intersection with the objectivity. This is where you can get to some evil shit where people use that to confuse people and scam people. But then you're just resting on objectivity, and you don't have any deeper insight on what is factual that can change the way what you see as facts. None of this has to be forced. That's why when you overthink it, it strains you. It is a subconscious revelation, especially through dreams. So it's going up a notch, and it's like seeing through the situation and gaining insight before it's been established, right? Or as it's being established. So that's very mystical. This is especially going to hit home for those of you who, this is especially going to hit home for those of you who realistically I just fucked the order up of that. For those of you who realistically are, doing something that goes against social normative culture, right? You might be going to sleep while everyone is waking up and working while everyone's asleep. You might incorporate mystical themes or, more, I don't want to say bohemian, but non-doctrinal facets that may be even heretical to some religious sects. And you want to follow that dream that no one sees but you. So we do have the high priestess. The high priestess is your breakthrough. This is going to be the refinement of your intuition into a practical, sharp sense. Someone on this chat commented, and she gave me an example of this, where she suddenly felt one night that, the window she kept open and never really felt she ever had to close, right? She just felt like something was going to happen, and she closed the window. And later that same night, robbers broke into the apartment and they went to the one below her, right? That is an entirely irrational sense to have. Like, just feeling that doesn't logically mean that someone's about to break in my house. And yet, because she followed that hunch, she may have circumvented her own apartment being broken into. All right. And this breakthrough of being able to, the moon, this is represented by the moon. So we have a double dose of intuition. The moon and the high priestess represents psychic ability at a supernatural level. So now being psychic is your superpower within 48 hours. Okay. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. You're going to come into the moon is going to speak of the abstractification of the subjectivity of your own subconscious mind and how in nonlinear ways you come into these senses. The high priestess now are the rhythms. You are understanding the rhythms of your body and your emotions that enable you to predict these synchronicities. So not only are you having these occurrences, you're breaking through by more sharp synchronicities you've ever had that intersect the subjective and objective, that enable you to make practical decisions off of. And not only as such, we'll be actively revealing much. So by the time you get to the full moon on Monday, there are powerful, bone-chilling revelations that will confirm a lot that you've been believing since March. And you're going to understand moving forward how to integrate them. And the outcome we have here is the Fool, which is beautiful because this is going to enable you to break through into a brand new adventure of innovation and revolution. So the Fool card is you taking that leap of faith, and it's you taking an unconventional direction in your life, business, relationships that everyone is going to look at you like a fucking retard for, but you're actually genius by doing this before anyone could even see into what it means. This is this is reflected more, but I will say evidence, by you dreaming this dream no one else can see. So you've been shown and revealed something that, is not meant to make sense to the layman, the uninitiated, because they're not initiated. You know what I mean? They don't have the wisdom that you have been trained to go through and can fully demonstrate. So I'm not just saying that, like, if it comes time for you to demonstrate, anytime, any place, anywhere. So that's really amazing. Unlike Pile 1, that's going to really double down on their passions and sustain it. Pile 2, you're going on a brand new adventure, and you're awakening a latent sense of your psychic ability. If you've been coming into the realization that every few months you're awakening your ability, well, it's kind of like anyone who goes to the gym. You don't just work out once and boom, you have the body. You constantly develop your body through constant exercise and working out. So you're constantly developing your strength. That's what you've been doing with your intuition. It's not just some new age concept that you overuse and you use to emotionally blackmail people when you want to say, my intuition said you're gaslighting me. It is an effective tool that you have practically been able to help you win in business decisions, relationship decisions, real life situations. It's so natural and fluid to you that you're not aware of how powerful it is, because you treat it like the rest of us treat it, like something that's like, it just comes so easy to you that you may not be aware that other people struggle to be a quarter as intuitive as you are. So this is going to really bolster up to where you can really make that decision. All right, Pile Trace. What is the magic you have activated? We have the Hermit card, Virgo. So the Hermit card is speaking of absolute mastery, which is amazing that the 33-minute we pulled the Virgo card. So the Hermit card is saying the mindset that you have activated is geared towards full-on integration and mastery of your skills and talents. All right. What you activated is you're locking in. You've cut out all the fat. You're focused entirely on your logic, the word. Okay. You're guiding your way through that. And you are already seeing how the work you have put in to develop and master yourself is already playing out, paying off. Your sword swing is much sharper. And the cool thing about the Hermit is it's growth in increments. It's not like you go from here to here overnight. It's that you're seeing measured progress and growth. And the breakthrough we have here is Judgment, Pluto, awakening. Okay. So this is going to lead towards you fully integrating this completion with the world and awakening others and yourself to your highest purpose. This is going to be even more fulfilling if you've been revisiting your journey from inception up until now. So Pile 3 is like somebody who took a professional degree route. Everyone else graduated before you. Everyone else is starting to make money. You're doing an extra master's and doctorate degree. So you've probably been in school for longer than some people have already started working a career or dropped out or going back to school. And it could feel like if you're measuring progress and comparing it to other people, that maybe you haven't really splashed and stepped out, but now with the Judgment card, you're awakening to the purpose of what you can do with this greater mastery. How all the time you spent, whether you're in a formal education or not, has put you in a position to where now when we want to hire, we can hire the bachelor's degree student for a general position, but you're overqualified in some cases. So now you're holding down positions that maybe 3 people in the entire state have, right? You might be needed in a state that doesn't have any neurosurgeons, and you're one of the top neurosurgeons in your field, right? And just by you being there, you're opening up opportunity and providing a very rare service. You're getting paid so much more because it's more in demand. So, this breakthrough is going to awaken more what this work in your skills you've mastered is really for. And we do have the Lover's card, which is going to, as a Gemini card, break you through into greater union between your thoughts and your emotions. And it's going to, of course, enable you to enjoy and love more what you do. So this is very reassuring for those of you who've been really hard at work with what you're doing, but maybe you lost the enjoyment or the love of it. Now, this also, for some of you, is going to indicate a platonic friendship, or a connection, maybe with a friend or someone who you just got to know, that actually blossoms into a full out soulmate counterpartship. The work you've done to fully understand who you are has enabled you to recognize who you're, meant to really create with, So that's beautiful. That's our first round of readings. So we're going to do another round right here. This one's going to go more into career reflections, and how I believe Gemini season is a launch pad and breakthrough preparation for just mad stacks, but mainly not only preparation for this Virgo season eclipse, but also I would say what nature that you will begin to gain momentum. Okay. Please keep in mind that I think some of you may be wasting your energy and effort on real life doofuses that speak eloquently and know how to talk a good game, but are really dumb as fuck. And you may literally be wasting your time trying to defend yourself or lower yourself to the level of people who cannot really hold a candle to what you do, what you know, and what you can actively demonstrate. So be very mindful, because you could really lose a lot of focus even worrying about that. And that's just meant to test how solid and sure of yourself you truly are. Because remember, the truth really doesn't need any defense, and integrity speaks for itself 100% of the time. That being said, let us look into this next round. So let's see what we have for career, life purpose, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. First card is going to be the first card is going to be your career. The second card is going to be finances, and the third card is going to be the outcome, but more so how it affects your life purpose and the destiny. This is the checkpoint of destiny from North Node in Pisces to South Node in Virgo. Underlying theme we have is the Fool. So we know that, and this is beautiful, because the Fool in the world is the very last major arcana, and the Fool comes before the first, the Magician, but this is unofficially the first. Okay. So with the Fool card, right, what this does is it unlocks this new direction in your career. With the World card, it speaks of you coming into the world. In the Fool, if I were to give you an analogy, is you spent your whole life schooling, and now you're getting ready to, start a brand new life in the workforce, right? It's Ash Ketchum who spent an entire season in the Pokemon region, and he finally finishes, you know what I'm saying, the competition. But then the Fool card is him taking that whole world of experience, bringing Pikachu, and going into a brand new Pokemon world with none of his Pokemon. He left it with Oak. That's how to look at the world in the Fool. So the Fool card is, when it comes to Gemini season, where we are pivoting our perspective and we're getting ready to activate a new direction coming into Cancer, a lot of you are going to be challenged to take a leap of faith, to take a certain new direction in your career that is going to be innovative, is going to be pioneering, is going to be revolutionary. You may be labeled a fool for, right? It may rub some people off the wrong way, but that will work in your favor if you approach it with the right attitude. So if you picked Pal Uno, what is the central theme behind your career? Y'all, we do have the Death card. So this is talking about your career beginning, the way your career looked at May 20, the end of May, and how your career is going to look June 20th is going to be night and day. You're coming through an entire transformation of your career direction and nature. Okay. And for some of you, that looks like the death of your career. All right. It's going to look like, hey, certain things are not going to work anymore moving forward, to where you're going to have to make drastic changes or be prepared to start anything new. All right. So given that this is a positive career theme, it's something you want to look forward to. I think maybe you've been planning to transform, rebrand, or make over certain aspects of your career forever, especially if the income is not hitting anymore. Things just might be dead. That's because you're going to experience a major shift. All right. It's not just going to be ending. It's going to be what replaces it as well, or how you really, transform your operations here. Financially, what finances, the central theme behind your finances, Power One, is the Hierophant card. The Hierophant card speaks of organizations. It also speaks of gang shit. It also speaks of orthodox knowledge, the keys of wisdom. So this speaks of maybe being a teacher as a part of a university. It could speak of being a pope as a leader of the Vatican, right? As far as wealth and finances, it's a card of Taurus that does indicate stability. However, with the influence of the Death card, knowing that your career is changing, I think this could allude more to not necessarily assistance and support, but rather really coming into a good chunk of wealth. I'm not going to say this is like an insurance company that you're receiving money from, but this could actually represent, money you have saved up or have already worked for, and this transformation can trigger that. The Hierophant is old money. It's not new money. So it's money through traditional means, whether through a stable job or whatever income, but it could even be the wealth of your own knowledge. This is actually a pretty good look when we know that it's going to be somewhat stable. And I would say with the Hierophant here, what was it going to say? Well, I don't entirely remember what I was going to say with that, but there's something I wanted to add to that relative to maybe the frequency or whatnot. It could also allude to some kind of inheritance, but yeah, the wealth of wisdom and old money. This could also represent educational wealth programs. So, it's like personally, for some of you who are wanting to gain financial literacy, you'll gain a lot. I think that's also a theme here, because the Hierophant is about learning new knowledge as well, or really consolidating and creating structure with that knowledge. So it's like you're getting put onto some solid game. around how to invest your current. So this will also represent, in a sense, financial institutions, right? But remember, the underlying theme of the world means of the Fool means there's a new way you're doing this. So what's the outcome with your life purpose? How all this segues? The Moon. So this is going to really transition you into, once again, a much more unconventional career path. The way it doesn't look like you're going to be doing what everyone does, especially with the Moon. This has your life path go down something that other people will not really make sense of unless they're highly in tune or unless they're highly knowledgeable about what you're doing. Because even with the Hierophant, even though you're dramatically and drastically transforming elements of your career, there's such a solid backing of knowledge with the Hierophant that your venture into this space is not backed on nothing. Like the Hierophant is like, some of you have a college degree. You know what I mean? Like some of you are backing this up, or you've already made like several $100,000. Like you have great experience with doing what you do. You have backing from old money to venture into what you're doing. So the Moon card is going to really enable you to walk the beat of your own drum. Or through the Moon card, you're going to really adopt your own perspectives represented by this pool, right? It's not the actual card, but you're going to realistically, I think, be able. The cool thing with the Moon is like you don't run on a strict schedule, and it's like you can just decide to take the next 2-3 weeks off, or work on a crunch the next 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So a lot of that is going to be intuitively guided, and that's not a strict, okay, at 3 we're going to do this, at 5 we're going to do that. So that'll be very interesting. And I think with the Moon card, it's going to allow you to pursue more directly your dreams and things that you never thought possible. You'll begin to imagineer more how it's becoming more and more of a reality. All right, so Paldeus, what do we have with your career? What is the magic Gemini is hooking that up with? Well, we have the Temperance, good management, alchemy, moderation. This is really good to know if you are wanting more hours in the day for you to really explore more what you want to do outside of work. So for Pal 2, this is like working part-time. This also favors very greatly self-employment. You know what I mean? Or working multiple jobs, freelancing. All right. The Magician, I would also pull freelancing as well. But Pile 2, this is talking about bringing great management through moderation into your career. So this is, your career isn't going to be something that takes exorbitant amounts of time because you have to get to, and you don't have time to do anything else. All right. This could be you working less and making more. You're incorporating very powerful techniques in order to get more out of your dollar and more out of your day. And that's going to be very fun. It's going to really, if there's an inordinate amount of stress associated with your career, this is going to really, 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 really excite you, because you're going to find that you can really automate certain aspects of this, and it allows you to accomplish and achieve more. So the finances, we do have the Chariot with the backing of this good management, and with the Temperance, there is like a more laissez-faire attitude towards really maintaining this integrity, but transmuting and alchemizing energies, or exercising moderation in how you really delegate your responsibilities. You're winning. Chariot is big money. So the Chariot is through willpower and determination, because you're not torn back and forth behind being, procrastinating or having a big workload. You're able to make more powerful financial decisions. So the Chariot is you taking action this Gemini season to come into significantly more money than you may be used to. And this is going to be, whether through a lump sum or not, great momentum moving forward. The only thing is you don't want to waste it all on immediate gratification and distract yourself. This is a really good sign. Chariot, this is Sag, this is Cancer. This is a really good combination because not only are you pushing forward, you have the proper foundation here. So, and it's practical. It's not like you had to win the lottery to get this. This can exist in whatever current work you're doing, whatever you're doing to make money. Your extra added effort and determination is going to secure you more of the bag. Now, the outcome we have here is judgment. And when it comes to your life purpose, this is primarily relative to what direction you feel you're meant to take it. And you're going to awaken. Now, remember, the Fool card is the underlying theme. So this is in a brand new direction. It's something unexpected. You're not entirely going to see how this is going to start, which is why you're going to need to take this leap of faith. But now that you're freeing up more time and you can move more in a direction to expand your income, this is going to really awaken your true purpose and what more you can do and accomplish through this direction. Last but not least, we got pile 3. So what is the outcome that we have for you guys? By the way, any one of you guys that would like a live reading, please feel free to join the live queue. Click the description box below. The minimum is $10, and you will be able to ask a question, or if you just want a card, bless me, I will pull that for ya. Okay. Anyway, part 3, what do we have for career? What is the message behind career for you? Ooh, we have the Devil card. Some of you are doing some illegal activity. All right. If you pick pile 3, these are my drug dealers. These are my traffickers. Oh my God. These are black market contraband experts. This is definitely very interesting. Let's just get this out the way. And I do have a 70% reading on all sales. This is definitely talking about skirting the lines between legality and illegality. So if you're dealing in any quid pro quo situations, you must deal with that right now. If you're getting overpaid, if you're getting underpaid and you're working way too much, be very mindful of that too. But some of you may not like to hear this, but the underworld is calling your name. Poppy, you may make lucrative investments in a certain white girl or a certain Mary Jane. You know what I'm saying? Like that. This is very important. I'm not telling you to do anything illegal. This is not legal advice. This is not any financial career advice. Need to make this disclaimer right now. Does homelessness count as a hardcore illegal lifestyle? No, Steez, because the Devil card gets money. Like this is some dude in Miami with 5 strippers and just $500,000 in cash in a money printer, which you know how he got it, right? Homelessness will only count if, like in John Wick, you're running some kind of economy posing as the homeless. All right, like this. That's what I'm saying. The temptation is going to be crazy here, and the Devil card as a career blessing and highlight is going to really speak of some of you who work more in nightlife, sexual industries. You don't have to be doing anything illegal, but maybe it's a certain level of entertainment like gambling. Gambling would run under this as well. Maybe you have a gambling racket that's not a racketeering RICO case, right? Maybe you're involved in a RICO case. You know what I'm saying? Just really keep this in mind. The reason why the underlying theme is the Fool is you may come into an opportunity not to dip into anything illegal, but to do things that take not only an unconventional approach, but now skirt on the underbelly or, a darker facet here. The Devil card also tempts you to not be too materialistic and focused on just the material, because then your decisions will be influenced by that and you can get caught up in chains. All right. If you mind that, this is a lot of fucking money, pile 3. This is just dirty money. This is just being filthy rich. I'm not gonna lie. And that's why it's gonna be different based on how you're approaching this. For some of you, you're going to be introduced into your role in the underworld, certain underground economies. And it's not even like some of them have to be really illegal. Some of them are. Some of you know what you're doing. And this is like saying, just, hold that authority. But that's so very interesting as a career theme. All right. This is Capricorn. And be very mindful, obviously, bringing order and regulation. The finances we have are the Hermit card. So with the finances, we do have this sense of you being on the hush hush with the money you're making. The Hermit card is strictly personal. So this is independently made. A lot of the revenue sources that you are making are detailed and analyzed and are done very smart. So this lets us know that your business is on point. But I don't want to just frame this as you just doing anything illegal. The Hermit card is going to definitely represent a more independently defined revenue source. So you're able to monetize your own unique specialized skills, but it also represents your ability to sustain yourself through this unique consistency. All right. What I'm really feeling here, though, isn't so much the amount of money you're making, but more so the privacy. You're going to, with the Hermit card, do a lot to shift a lot of your money from the public sphere to the private sphere, so that it's not like you're hiding the money you make, but you're securing it. It's like you're setting up parameters to where someone would have to do their research in order to know how much money you're really making. You will be able to secure accounts to where certain expenses you make can't be traced. All right. And the outcome we have for this with life purpose is the Justice card, which is mind blowing. So this really does come back. The outcome of this is if you're not operating properly, you're going to get arrested. So please don't get arrested. Okay, be very careful. But if you operate properly, you have justice on your side. And this is saying the outcome of this is you may be able to influence law and legal procedure. You may be able to set up your paperwork in a way that gets you right with the law, or your ass is going to jail. I'm gonna be completely yes, like that, like outcome, prison. Like, be very careful. If you just out here recklessly breaking the law, leaving a paper trail, you going to jail. Okay, you have to be very careful about, like, once you, and that's the message of the devil, venturing in towards this field, you have to take Capricorn responsibility. So you can't just blame people because you didn't cover your ass. You didn't necessarily. I get a powerful John Wick vibe. I get a very powerful John Wick vibe from Pal 3. You know what I mean? Some of you watching this are involved in certain things, and you're going to understand how to legitimize what you're doing. It could be as anything as dirty as laundering money to something as like making sure you differentiate what makes you actually lawful, right? And maybe cleaning up. This is like when certain this is like when OnlyFans or certain social media profiles have to clean up their image so that they can maybe sell their stocks, or they could be taken more serious by more official companies. So they're kind of removing certain things that associate them with a certain thing, amongst other things. All right. That being said, that was very interesting. That was very interesting. Pile 3, not gonna lie, that was a little sus. And it doesn't have to be in a bad way. It doesn't have to be in a bad way because it could have many different interpretations. But yeah. So last but not least, we're gonna do one more pile. And this last pile that we do, this last reading that we do, let's see. we'll just do a final magical pile. So the first card will be supernatural breakthrough applying right now. So this is going to be what can you integrate and apply right now to break through? What will you be experiencing? It's a gift, it's a prize. The second card is going to be a romance revelation, and the third card is going to be a final outcome or a final gift. Final revelation. We'll do that. What's the ultimate final revelation you finna make? You gonna make. Underlying theme is the high priestess. So just be very mindful. There's a lot of synchronous revelations, a lot of powerful synchronicities. Aisha, I got your Cash App. Thank you very much. Of course, once again, the synchronicities, guys, are going to be fucking crazy. They're going to be really spooky. I'm not going to lie. And I know if it's like me, which I know it is, you've been already seeing ridiculous synchronicities. So don't overthink them, but just know that there's more where that came from. And you're going to come into a deeper integration of all this. All right. So really don't sleep on that inner voice, but don't try and make too much sense of it, knowing that it's like passing a signpost saying that the next exit is 5 miles away. You don't have to like think where, just keep going, right? So that being said, you're going to come into a much deeper understanding of pre-existing psychic and supernatural abilities that will break you through even further. So if you pick Pauna, what's the supernatural breakthrough and gift for you? Well, we have strength with the infinity on her head. This is talking about a resurgence of passion and mastery over lust. So the greatest way to tap into this is to do what you love right now. What is something that brings you excitement and joy? And Heyoka, thank you once again for gifting the 5 memberships. This is when we started. What is something you love to do, and do it right now? What is something that brings you joy? Fueling yourself into that is what's going to make everything else make sense. This is going to exceptionally hit hard. If maybe you've been trying to figure out what can I do to sustain or support this, do that, and then let everything spring from that. You're not going to be able to plan that. You're not going to be able to plan to work on something and someone hears, oh, are you working on this? Oh, you can come here. It's just by you fully immersing into what it is you love to do. But this is also talking about an expansion of energy. If you're more energetic and you just feel like you have more power and strength to work on, this gift is for you. You're going to realize you're much stronger than you could have ever realized. You're physically stronger, you're emotionally stronger, you're intellectually stronger. You process information much more powerfully. All right. And the romance revelation we have is the Hierophant. Now, this is a card of marriage, namely traditional marriage or a committed partnership. So this is going to reveal archetypes of people or an actual person who shares the same values as you, okay, who connects with the same tradition as you. There's going to be a much more formal and traditional understanding with which you're going to be able to connect. If anything, this is just going to, some of you may not want to get married. Some of you may not want to carry on certain traditions. This is going to be an important realization that will really shape how you approach this moving forward, especially with the High Priestess, which does represent, counterparts, a masculine and feminine expression of, spirituality, one that is more orthodox and dogmatic and one that is really more intuitive and free flow. All right. So that being said, this is really good. I think you're going to really go steady with somebody. And the outcome is the Empress, pregnancy, but also abundance. You not only diving into your passions and being supported, right, in a very solid way, but now immediately bearing fruit and coming into the riches and richness and abundance that comes with this. All right. So you're going to be feeling energetic and looking sexy. All right. Which I think is really dope. The final revelation is that you won all along. You had the value all along, and you're definitely going to tap into the finer things in life through this Venusian quality. Pal dose. What is this supernatural breakthrough and gift that you can access right now? Oh, crazy. As I said, that gift from Aquarius commented. Love it. So we do have judgment. This is an awakening. For some of you, it's a reawakening. So the first vision that I caught right now was Solo Leveling. I've been binge reading the manga. And in Solo Leveling, hunters awaken to a certain rank. An awakening experience is where they suddenly break through into a class of powers. There's mage class, there's warrior class, but you effectively become an RPG character. And then there's a reawakening where they're able to awaken to a higher potential. Okay. So this is saying, Pau2, you're awakening supernatural power again. All right. Some of you are awakening as an S rank, right? This is marked. You've been guided into it. You're truly breaking a deeper layer of your own being, and the way forward could never be clearer. So be mindful of that, because this is going to be, I think, one of the most intense periods and moments of your life. One that you felt coming, but couldn't put your finger on how it would show up until you realize it's you who's showing up. So the romance revelation we have is the world. Jesus Christ. So you are coming into powerful fulfillment. Power one is coming into a steady union of values that's based on something real. Power two, this is coming into completion and fulfillment with someone who you share the entire world with. And it's tied to this awakening of you coming into your full potential and unlocking, a lot of how realistically you come into a full-on completion of you and a partner, where you're complete in yourselves, but both of you complement each other so much that you unlock a whole world of possibility together. There's an eternal nature to this connection that I think is larger than life, and I think will have you even exploring the world. So this could also represent someone from a different culture overseas, or someone who is already highly successful, but I'm kind of mind blown. The world card here is definitely denoting massive success and fulfillment through the estate that you're going to be revealed through this romantic connection. And once again, with the High Priestess, this is related to synchronicities and intuitions you've been getting about a situation or someone or an archetype. So it's not just in your head. And the ultimate revelation with the Hermit, and the final revelation rather, is that you are crystallizing this deeper mastery of your being, your talents, and your skills. Okay. Let me pull some keywords up, because we do see the Hermit representing, being a lone wolf, being by oneself, but yeah, it's realizing the answers you already seek were within you, but you're able to teach more your expertise to others. However, I think I see this as you creating your own style and you perfecting your own wisdom. So keep that in mind. I see this as mastery and perfection, And it's going to take a lot that you've been working towards, and now that's the image I get. It's like you see someone just pull their sword out and cut an apple, but you don't know how many thousands of hours they were practicing that sword strike. It's the full-on crystallization, whereas Pile 1 is really, breaking through their beauty. This is a crystallization of you being flawlessly on point, ridiculously, and you're still focused on your inner light. So you're not influenced or swayed by others' opinions. So finally, Pile 3, the supernatural breakthrough is justice, full on reset and balance, especially with Saturn and Neptune in Aries. This is going to really recall judgment for everyone who ever thought they could fuck with you. And they're going to realize that justice has always been on your side. This is also good for any legal decisions, any lawsuits, any thing that you are appealing to the law. The decision will be favorable towards you. This is also making sure if you get all your paperwork right and you sign everything necessary that has to be signed, this is also going to work really well for you in the long run. And there are important decisions relative to how you want to be on the same page as people that's going to break you through immediately. But very important decision. And I think this is really just the karmic scales being rectified in your favor, especially due towards people who have treated you wrong or decisions you've made that you are looking and seeking, a fair resolution towards. So the romance revelation is the Chariot card. Pew! Shoot your shot, my G. All right. This is saying to make a declarative step in action towards what it is you want. Honestly, though, the Chariot card in romance comes up when you're just so busy winning and you're just taking so much important action, you don't give a fuck about your love life. It's like you're too busy getting paid. Divine Rights, welcome to the Eternal Vibe Tribe. It's like you're too busy like winning. You're too busy focusing on this momentum. You haven't really brought much time to this, but because this is a romance revelation, this is the Chariot card is a card you pull when it's a go. It's like, I know if I shoot my shot, I'm going to dunk that, right? And you're not waiting for certainty. You're not waiting for assurance. This is just full on willpower. It's like you're taking that step victoriously and boom. And to be backed by justice is really good too. So you're coming correct here. You're coming very correct. All right. And the outcome, the final revelation is the Wheel of Fortune. You're going to level up. So not only are you going to maintain this momentum, but you're going to expand and break through into the next level. Great fortune. You are going to realize you've always been aligned with destiny. And it's so imperative that you have the justice right. You're coming from the right place so that you expand in the right direction and fortune doesn't shift against you. There's not many entities that are more cruel than Fortuna, than fortune, because you can be up and all of a sudden you lose it all. Okay. So this is definitely going to ensure that not only do you come into massive success, it actually and virtually levels you up to a level with which the Chariot will enable you to maintain momentum with. And you're just going to keep winning and winning and winning and winning. All right. So before we close out, I didn't forget. I'm going to still play the song. And before we close out, I'm going to do some live readings for anyone who wants a card. Aisha, I see you with it. So the underlying theme that we have for you is the Death card. Full-on transformation. Refer to the first reading or spread. This is talking about anything that has to die that gets in the way of your success is out of here. And anything that has to transform in order for you to facilitate is actively changing. We have the Fool card. This underlying theme of transformation is you really making good on this brand new direction and adventure you're going down. And I love the Emperor here because not only are you going down this new adventure, you're maintaining authority. You're holding it down, which is very important. It's like doubling down and starting a brand new LLC and buying the furniture, and you're still maintaining the authority and discipline here. So if it was like the Fool card, it's like, I'm gonna be a new musician, and you have, you know, songs and stuff, but it's the Emperor. You registered your ASCAP publishing, you have a studio, you rent, like you actually on your Squares. This is really good for independent business. So it's like you're your own boss, all right? And that's where if you had to quit a job, if you had to stop certain things so you could fully maintain this autonomy, that's just boss shit. And we do have justice. So your paperwork is on point. So the justice card is saying you're not behind on any renewals. You're actually right legally. This is going to break you through very powerfully. So these two really enhance this. It doesn't make this very, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily make this unfocused. It's destined to succeed. All right. And you already got the paperwork ready. So you already know what time it is. You know. So the insight to the next 6 months, we can say you already been talking about what we're doing. So the Fool and the Emperor is now, right? But you know, the justice is the results of these paperwork that's going to ensure you moving forward. And yeah, it's really good, facilitating this powerful transformation, you know. Oh my God, what the fuck was that? All right, Nicole, what do we got? Fool, what do we have for you? What do we have for you? So we have justice as the underlying theme, which is, of course, going to represent in your case, making sure that you are not allowing others to treat you unfairly while you treat them fairly, right? I don't think it really just pertains to paperwork. If you're currently signing documents or if you're going through a legal situation, as an underlying theme, it's making sure that you are approaching every situation in a just, righteous way to ensure you for future. And we do have the Hangman. So you're being asked to surrender. And this is why this is very important. Great example of this is if you know you're being accused of a crime you didn't commit, right? You're doing everything you can to make the process proper, to exonerate yourself. All you can do is to just surrender to the fact that you know you're innocent and to allow due process to work properly, because you're going to transform your entire perspective around the situation by surrendering to it and letting go, and not letting go by giving up. So you're not being asked to give up, but to surrender to the idea that you won't be found innocent because you know you're not guilty. All right. So in another context, this is just kind of letting the proper work you've done ahead of time speak for itself, because there's nothing better that will justify you. All right. So that looks like that's everything. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. That was, of course, another fun pick a card reading. We're going to do the cosmic energy tune-up tomorrow, I believe. So if you want to tap into that, feel free. Until then, you guys stay blessed as always. And I'll see ya when I see ya.
I got that, and I know you want that. Yeah, I said I got that. Hey, and I know you want that. Yeah, I said I got that. Word that, word that, word that, word that, word that, word that, word. I know you like that. Word that, word that, word that, word that, word. Hey, yeah. She like, let's get to work. Bitch, I've been working, and you about to work for me. Now get twerking. Shake that money, make it, then reverse it. Bring it back, show me that you're really worth it. I work hard, but I'm hardly working. I work smart, getting paid while I work it. Imperfect, but I'm still perfect. I'm old school. Write my curses out in cursive. I get though. Hey. Bitches call me Simon cause I said so. And these niggas choking, they got strep though. I get low. then kill him with the birdie, that's my death stroke. Fuck with me, you could get your wig popped. Headshot, headshot, like a battle rap. Hit you with my battle axe. Says you him, you not that. Bitch, you know I got that. Work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work. I know you like that. Work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work. Bitch, I got that. Work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work. I know you like that. Work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work.
Nala Brown, Gemini magicians always plotting on a deal. Putting in that work like this cotton in the field. Another beat, another meal. Brother speaking how you feel. Word to mama, but working on the trauma so we heal. Keep it real, milk on the black milk. Raised by the pimps, used to let they head tilt. Thread straight silk, working on caprices. They trapping on the block while I'm working on my thesis. Nala Brown, king of the Tissound, Brizzag. Sigmas, I'm stepping and rapping for the Sissag. Nigga, where you been? Out searching for lust. Buffalo came up, this other working on trust. I see the moves, it took a cue to get my biz tight. Things improve, I'm up working every midnight. True MC, third base like search. Word in my face on the book, I got work.
That, work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work. I know you like that. Work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work. Yeah, I got that. Work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work. You know you like that. Work that, work that, work that, work that, work that, work. Ayy.